In this video, we're going to take a look at Qwidgets Portfolio Optimizer. This feature offers three key benefits to any predictions investor. First, it makes it easier to express your market view for events made up of dependent markets. Second, it helps you understand the optimal portfolio for that view using a variety of allocation strategies. Finally, it helps you keep your portfolio in sync with that view as market data changes. Let's tackle a fairly complex scenario, which is the set of over-under markets for a basketball game. We'll create a workspace for this event and add a Portfolio Optimizer widget. Let's jump right in and design a probability distribution for the event. The over-under is a series of cumulative markets. In other words, there is a market for total points over 201.5 and one for 204.5 and so on. As you move from left to right, each market resolving to yes requires each market before it to also resolve to yes. As a result, you can create interesting range combinations by buying offsetting yes and no positions on different markets. The Portfolio Optimizer breaks down cumulative events into discrete ranges so that you can precisely craft your probability distribution. Each slider represents a relative likelihood of that outcome, so you can adjust them to match your expectation. In this case, I've split my view between two ranges, slightly favoring the higher one. The optimal portfolio generated identifies the combinations of strikes to be bought in order to maximize my defined exposure using the selected allocation method. As market pricing changes, the portfolio automatically updates to reflect the latest allocations. The settings can be adjusted as desired using the top action bar. For example, you can adjust market pricing, which specifies how much to shave off the bid-ask spread when modeling transactions. The taker option assumes buying the ask and selling the bid, whereas the maker model, the opposite. The default option is in the middle and uses the midpoint with pessimistic rounding. The exposure amount defines the maximum risk for the portfolio. In a cumulative market, you can hedge your risk by using covered positions based on those offsetting yes and no markets. In this case, you'd be trading $130 worth of contracts, but the cash impact would only be $10 because it's the maximum loss. Finally, the allocation method is for how Qwidgets decides quantities across outcomes. Match My View focuses on bigger bets where you're more confident. Kelly Criterion only sizes up when the line is in your favor, and you allocate more when the edge is bigger. Maximize Edge is the simpler version. You only invest where your probability beats the market with size based on that gap. Equal weight means the same size in every outcome selected, and risk parity leans smaller on expensive outcomes and bigger on cheaper ones, so one outcome doesn't dominate risk. Trading buttons are provided next to each position if that position differs from your current holdings. If we buy a position here so we can see how it factors into the analysis and the trading plan. There are also some distribution shortcuts, such as the reset to market. This simply takes the implied probabilities expressed by the market for each range and applies them to the current distribution. It can be a good place to start if you want to see how slight adjustments to the current market sentiment could open up opportunities for profit. However, be wary of the impact of wide spreads since they rely heavily on midpoints for modeling. You can also reset to 0, which displays your portfolio's raw P&L for each range. The Portfolio Optimizer can be used for a few other event types as well. For example, categorical and range markets contain a set of mutually exclusive markets with a single winner. That experience is a bit simpler because each item maps directly to a single market. You can also use the Portfolio Optimizer for spread markets to map a probability distribution to distinct ranges between point spreads. We hope you check it out. And as always, good luck and good hunting.